Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
Zhou Zhou was not only shocked. The speed of Soul Reaper's growth also surprised him. He had seen the skills of the Soul Reaper and knew how this Divine Kingdom soldier type grew. The Divine Kingdom tier talent, Soul Absorption, was the main reason why it could grow so quickly. The so-called Soul Absorption referred to the process of Soul Reapers harvesting souls. They could absorb a trace of pure soul power from the other party's soul and fuse it into their own soul to accelerate their growth. It could be said that, as long as there was enough soul harvest, the Soul Reaper would be able to increase its strength rapidly without any bottlenecks until it reached the upper limit of its potential. A Soul Reaper is already so terrifying. In that case, how terrifying would the god of death Thanatos, who has the Soul Reaper Legion, be? Zhou Zhou could not help but think. The final summary of the Soul Reaper recruitment book stated that they had terrified countless god spirits at their peak. He felt that it was a little exaggerated when he first read it. But now, Zhou Zhou felt that these words were probably not empty words. A moment later, 6,000 ranch monsters were all dealt with. Zhou Zhou took out 10 conquerors' blast furnaces to extract the spoils of war from their corpses. Half an hour later, the loots were extracted from all 6,000 monster corpses. Under the influence of the perfect loots, other than the +1 monster flesh, skill book, potion formula, poison sac, black scorpion poison crossbow, and other normal items, he obtained 25,982 green bronze tier mist cores, 3,678 white silver tier mist cores, 144 yellow gold tier mist cores, a total of 5,784 class change certificates for the 3 types of soldier types. There were also 1,006 sword shield soldier recruitment books, 945 poison crossbow soldier recruitment books, 1,002 Pudeo soldiers recruitment books, 4,212 kilograms of light drawing crystal. Zhou Zhou looked at these gains and was very satisfied. As the Monster Ranch advanced to the white silver tier elementary grade, under the effect of the perfect loots, the Monster Ranch could already give him yellow gold tier loots. Then, he handed the light drawing crystal to Zhao Changshu and the others to deal with. Then, he led his men to clean up another side of the time ruins. After emerging from the time ruins, Zhou Zhou obtained another batch of bronze-level Fire Demon Fog Wolf outfit, 4,926 green bronze tier mist cores, 20 white silver tier mist cores, and 384 elemental archer recruitment books. Then, Zhou Zhou took these soldier-type recruitment books and went to the Gate of Summoning. He threw all of them into the Gate of Summoning. A moment later, a total of 3,349 military professionals stood neatly in front of Zhou Zhou. They all looked at their lord with serious expressions. Zhou Zhou could not help but take a deep breath. He had gained more than 3,000 military professionals in a day. If it was in the past, his territory really could not hold so many soldiers. However, that was different now. He continued on to the Golem lair and summoned 126 Golem soldier types. When we attacked the Golem territory yesterday, we sacrificed a total of 132 military professionals. My soldiers went down to 9,789. Today, we added 3,349 more today. In addition to the 252 Golem soldier types I recruited yesterday and today, the number of soldiers under my command has officially exceeded 10,000, reaching 13,390. Zhou Zhou was quite satisfied with his achievement. In just 10 days, he had over 10,000 military professionals under his command. He believed that he was probably second to none among the lords of the Cerulean planet. After a while, the soldier types under him could increase to 50,000, 100,000, or even hundreds of thousands. At this moment, a carriage rushed over from afar. The carriage suddenly stopped when they were still some distance away from Zhou Zhou. Then, an old man alighted from it and walked straight to Zhou Zhou. "Greetings, my lord. I'm back," Zhang Yuanqi said respectfully. "Elder Zhang, you've worked hard. How did your trip go?" Zhou Zhou nodded and asked. "I didn't let you down. Zhang Bowen has always been passionate about developing Fish Spring Town. In addition, his teacher, has appeared before him. Therefore, he almost immediately agreed after I mentioned the establishment of the trade route. After saying that, Zhang Yuanqi took out a map and handed it to Zhou Zhou with both hands. Zhou Zhou took it. He realized that this was a regional map. The rough terrain around Blazing Sun City and Fish Spring Town was drawn on it. On this map, 8 green lines connected Blazing Sun City, Fish Spring Town, and Sandgold City. These 8 green lines are the trade routes that I and Zhang Bin have discussed together. They can be used normally and are safer. Merchants, convoys, and even normal pedestrians can use these 8 trade routes to travel back and forth between the 3 cities. The premise is that no fog monsters will appear near these trade routes. Zhang Yuanqi said, "There are no longer any wild fog monsters in the Blazing Sun Desert. The scattered fog monsters have long been dealt with. The scattered fog monsters in the Sand Gold Land should be dealt with today. Fish Spring Town should have already dealt with all the fog monsters." Zhou Zhou said, "After today, these trade routes can be officially activated." After Zhang Yuanqi finished speaking, the two of them looked at each other and saw the joy in each other's eyes. Especially Zhou Zhou. What he valued were not just these 8 safe trade routes, but the meaning behind the 8 trade routes. As long as the merchants in his territory could safely enter Fish Spring Town through these 8 trade routes, they could enter the other regional cities of the Aurora Kingdom that bordered Fish Spring Town. Therefore, it did not just open a route to Fish Spring Town, but the entire Aurora Kingdom. "Thank you, Elder Zhang," Zhou Zhou said seriously. "My lord, you're being too serious. This is just my duty." Zhang Yuanqi chuckled. "Elder Zhang, the administrative hall has been established. It's right where you reserved it. You can take a look and arrange how you are going to use this building." Zhou Zhou nodded and thought of the administrative hall. Zhang Yuanqi's eyes lit up. Then, he immediately bade farewell to Zhou Zhou and headed towards the administrative hall. Zhou Zhou also went to look for Qian Jiangsheng, wanting to bring him to Sandgold City and let him be the city lord. Actually, his previous idea was to choose a mysterious merchant from the mysterious merchant team and let him be the city lord of Sandgold City. However, after the more professional former finance minister, Qian Jiangsheng, arrived, he immediately changed his mind and made him the city lord. When Qian Jiangsheng heard this request, he thought only for a moment and agreed readily. This job could indeed allow him to unleash his abilities. Afterwards, Zhou Zhou left 3,390 military professionals in the territory to protect Blazing Sun City. Meanwhile, he brought Qian Jiangsheng, Nazario, Maris, and the remaining 5,000 military professionals to Desolate City to meet up with Bai Yi and Wu Xian. The army led by Zhou Zhou was currently advancing on one of the 8 trade routes that Elder Zhang had mentioned. Zhou Zhou was sitting in a carriage with Elder Qian and observed the situation outside. He realized that the terrain was really very flat compared to other places, as Elder Zhang said. There was no need for repairs to allow pedestrians and carriages to move normally on the road. He retracted his gaze and waved his right hand. A heavy box appeared in front of Elder Qian. "Elder Qian, there are 1,000 yellow gold tier mist cores inside. They can be used as funding for your work after you take over. You can just use them to perfect the development of Sandgold City. Also, there's some wealth there which you can also use freely. If it's not enough, you can apply to Blazing Sun City at any time." Zhou Zhou said. The Sandgold City had yet to become a true commercial city. He had to spend some money in the early stages if he wanted to do this. That was why he took out so many yellow gold tier mist cores. Honestly, so many yellow gold tier mist cores was not a small sum even for him. "Don't worry, my lord. It's enough for me with so many mist cores. If I do need more mist cores, I'll just establish the taxes of the Sandgold City to develop the city when the time comes. As for the specific income and expenditure, I will hand it over to the Lord every month." Qian Jiangsheng said confidently. As a former kingdom-level finance minister, he had done similar things before he climbed to that position. He had even experienced more difficult environments and handled them very well. Therefore, he was still confident. Don't worry, Elder Qian, Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he looked in the direction of the Sandgold City and thought about his future development. In his plan, Sandgold City would be the first image that Blazing Sun City had established to the outside world. It would appear in the vision of the living beings of the High Continent. Blazing Sun City itself remained in a closed-off state. Only subjects were allowed to enter and leave. No large-scale outsiders were allowed to enter. They could let one or two outsiders in if they were without any ill intentions. For example, the princess from the Aurora Kingdom, who would arrive at some point in time. Blazing Sun City was his base camp after all. There would be many of his secrets here in the future with the mythical tier talent of the King of Lutes. The subjects were loyal to him. He could let them come into contact with some secrets without worry. But outsiders? He would not let them come into contact with any secrets. This might attract the guesses of the life forms outside, but in a dangerous place like the High Continent, Zhou Zhou felt that there was nothing wrong with being more mysterious. An hour later, Zhou Zhou and the others arrived at Sandgold City, more than half an hour in advance with the advantage of the trade route. Sandgold City. In the Lord's courtyard. Greetings, my lord, Zhang Kaishan and his brother said respectfully. Zhou Zhou nodded. After a few simple words, he introduced Qian Jiangsheng to them. This is Qian Jiangsheng, Elder Qian. He was the former finance minister of the Aurora Kingdom. He will be in charge of Sandgold City. The two of you will focus on listening to Elder Qian and develop Sandgold City well. Do you understand? He said. Yes, my lord. The two of them said respectfully. Then, they couldn't help but look at Qian Jiangsheng. They have heard about his reputation since they were young. If they were to rank the people who had contributed to the development of the Aurora Kingdom in the past 50 years, this person could definitely enter the top 5. They did not expect their lord to be able to invite this big shot over. Zhang Kaishan and his brother were completely convinced. However, their expressions soon became strange. They remembered that the previous great general of the Aurora Kingdom, Wu Xian, and one of the 3 previous prime ministers, Zhang Yuanqi, were also in Blazing Sun City and were holding extremely important positions. Our lord seems to be very good at poaching talents. The two of them muttered in their hearts. Zhou Zhou naturally did not know what the two of them were thinking. After chatting with the 3 of them about the development of Sandgold City and the business path, he left to look for Bai Yi and Wu Xian. In the tent of the military camp, after Zhou Zhou saw Bai Yi and Wu Xian, he told them about his plan to take down Thorn Dune today and handed them a copy of the regional map. After watching for a while, the two of them told Zhou Zhou the judgment that they could attack. Zhou Zhou was not surprised. With his current strength, he had a high chance of winning even if it was a green bronze tier area. Not to mention a mere black iron tier area. I've something to say, my lord. Just as Zhou Zhou and Wu Xian were about to take action, Bai gritted her teeth and suddenly said, What is it? Zhou Zhou was stunned. Wu Xian also stopped. I want to give the position of Legion Commander of the Blazing Sun Army to Elder Wu. My lord, please approve. Bai lowered her head and said. The two of them were stunned as soon as these words were spoken. Why do you say that? Zhou Zhou frowned. My lord, Elder Wu is far better than me, in terms of strength, experience, and confidence in the army. I feel that I'm far inferior to Old Wu in terms of leading troops in battle. Continuing to be in the position of Legion Commander will only make me feel more inferior. In addition, this is also irresponsible to the other brothers and sisters in the army. That's why I made such a request to my lord. Bai said sincerely. Elder Wu, what do you think? Zhou Zhou could understand her thoughts. However, he did not voice his thoughts. Instead, he looked at Wu Xian. I think Legion Commander Bai should continue. I'll just be a deputy commander. Wu Xian chuckled. Why? With your ability, you can definitely have a better position and lead the Blazing Sun Army to a more glorious future. Bai couldn't help but ask. I've only led soldiers for 50 more years than you. When I was your age, I didn't even get to see a hero. And you're a hero before you were 20. Don't think you're not good enough. If you're not outstanding, what will the other people think? Moreover, I'm already old. My future achievement is destined to be limited. You're young and you became a hero at such a young age. You're the one who can truly bring the Blazing Sun Army to greater heights as a Legion commander. Furthermore, the position of Legion commander can also train you and allow you to grow faster. I don't want to steal your glory, Wu Xian said seriously. Bai was speechless. What a powerful talker. Zhou Zhou, who was already convinced, could not help but think. As for the abilities you don't know yet, I can teach you if you want to learn. Wu Xian smiled at Bai Yi. Bai Yi did not react for a moment. Aren't you going to address him as your teacher? Zhou Zhou reminded. Only then did Bai Yi react and immediately bowed respectfully to Wu Xian. When Wu Xian saw this, he immediately felt extremely comfortable. I'm a hero now and I have a disciple who is a hero but not even 20 years old yet. This achievement is probably second to none in the history of human heroes, right? He had to tell old Zheng when he got back. This old fellow usually flaunted how many disciples he had and how outstanding they were. Now, this disciple of mine is equivalent to 100 of them. No, at least 1,000. Let's see how he refutes this time. Wu Xian had already thought of how to show off in front of Zheng Yuanqi. Elder Wu, the Aurora Kingdom's imperial physician, Elder Bai Yuejing, also came to Blazing Sun City today and became a subject of Blazing Sun City. Can he treat your injuries? Zhou Zhou asked his own question, seeing that this episode had passed. Old Bai is here too, Wu Xian said subconsciously. He shook his head. I'm an old acquaintance with Old Bai. However, Old Bai can only ease my injuries and make me feel better when my injuries relapse. It's impossible to heal. My injuries can only be healed by legendary tier doctor professionals or physician heroes. Those below this level can't do anything to my injuries. Wu Xian said. How did you get these injuries? Zhou Zhou could not help but ask. It was caused by a scarlet hero from the Taiyan Kingdom, Wu Xian said. Zhou Zhou stopped probing. 15 minutes later, a total of 10,000 soldiers had gathered at the entrance of Sandgold City. His lordship will definitely win today's battle, Zhang Kaishan shouted from the city wall. The other soldiers stationed in Sandgold City also roared and cheered. Zhou Zhou smiled. Then, he set off with the soldiers. At the same time, Thorn Dune, the territory of the human lord of Cerulean Planet, the Thorn Lord. Thorn Lord Zhang Yud was sitting on a recliner, watching the chat in the Sun Extermination Association chat group. He would write some words to encourage the other lords in the Sun Extermination Association to gather and eliminate the Lord of the Blazing Sun from time to time. As for these comments, when the other lords in the Sun Extermination Association saw this, they either pretended not to see it or comforted him. Thorn Lord, don't worry. Tomorrow is the Myriad Races Lord Battlefields event. Why would the Lord of the Blazing Sun come out to find the enemy to exhaust his troops? That's right, old Zhang. Don't worry. You're very safe. What are you afraid of? When the Myriad Races Lord Battlefield begins, we will definitely help you eliminate the Lord of the Blazing Sun. After reading it, Zhang Yud immediately closed the chat group indignantly. Talk is cheap. You're not the closest to the Lord of the Blazing Sun's territory. We agreed to help each other when I established the Sun Extermination Association. In the end, no one was willing to help me now after knowing that I was the closest to the Lord of the Blazing Sun's territory. Zhang Yud opened the group chat again and wanted to leave. However, he looked at the option of leaving the group chat and hesitated for a long time. In the end, he did not press it. After a long time, he closed the group chat screen in front of him and let out a long sigh. I hope the Lord of the Blazing Sun really won't come. 3 hours later. I've something to report, my lord. There's an unfamiliar army outside. They've already surrounded Thorn City. There are about 10,000 of them. The leader claims to be the Lord of the Blazing Sun. My lord, what should we do? A scout rushed to Zhang Yud, who was sleeping on the recliner, and said in a panic. Zhang Yud, who was originally sleepy, immediately sat up when he heard this. He widened his eyes and looked at the scout in front of him. What? Zhang Yud looked at the scout in front of him as if he had been struck by lightning. He stayed for a moment, then he rushed towards the city wall like a madman. After arriving at the city wall, he climbed up the 3-meter-tall city wall and stuck his head out to look outside the city wall. And then, he almost fainted, because he saw a black mass of heads outside the city wall with almost no end to it. Moreover, most of them were military professionals wearing soldier-type armors. The others also wore some standard equipment and outfits that he did not recognize. The most ridiculous thing was, he even saw a group of monsters that were at least 4 to 5 meters tall standing together with other human military professionals. Zhang Yud's legs went weak, facing the pressure of 10,000 military professionals. Why are there so many people? Why does the Lord of the Blazing Sun have so many military professionals? How is this possible? His eyes were filled with disbelief. The 11 Lords of the Sun Extermination Association added up to about 3,000 military professionals. They felt that they could easily destroy the Lord of the Blazing Sun. He had even thought of how to split the Lord of the Blazing Sun's wealth in advance. Now that he thought about it again, he felt that it was a huge mockery. 3,000 against 10,000 military professionals. What could he use to fight? Should he hit him with his head? And how did they get here so fast? The Myriad Races Lord Battlefield event is starting tomorrow. Shouldn't the Lord of the Blazing Sun be busy preparing for tomorrow's event? Zhang Yud muttered. After he came back to his senses, he immediately opened the Sun Extermination Association chat group, wanting to tell them about the Lord of the Blazing Sun. However, he suddenly thought of the treatment he had received previously. After a long time, Zhang Yud's eyes flashed with resentment. I'm finished. You guys, don't even think about running away. He whispered. Outside the city wall, Zhou Zhou looked at the 3-meter-tall city wall in the distance with a calm expression. The other party only had more than 200 military professionals. If he still didn't surrender, then he was willing to call the other party a warrior. That was indeed the case. A moment later, Thorn City's city gate was actually opened and a person walked out in a daze. It was Zhang Yud. He was followed by more than 400 people. Among them were more than 200 military professionals and more than 100 normal subjects. At this moment, they did not have any equipment on them. They arrived in front of Zhou Zhou barehanded. Big Boss Blazing Sunday. I surrender. I'm willing to tell you some information about the lords who wanted to harm you on the World Channel as long as you spare my life. Many of the lords I know are near the Aurora Kingdom. They can easily find you if they want to harm you. Zhang Yud said fearfully. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. There are even unexpected gains? How do you know that? He asked. Because they established the Lord Alliance of the Sun Extermination Association. My territory is also very close to Big Boss Blazing Sun's territory, so I was forced to join. Zhang Yud said awkwardly. Tell me the details. Zhou Zhou said. Yes. Zhang Yud seemed to have seen some hope of survival and immediately told Zhou Zhou everything about the Sun Extermination Association. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue in wonder after listening to it. He did not expect these 11 lords to really rely on the lord function of the marketplace to earn more than 3,000 military professionals. However, this was naturally useless to him. Abandon your status as a lord. Join Blazing Sun City and become my subject. Then I'll learn about you from your previous subjects. If you're a morally corrupt scumbag, I won't keep you either. But as long as you're not and do what I said, I can spare your life. Zhou Zhou looked at him and said, I'll give up my status as a lord now. I'm also willing to become your subject. Also, Big Boss Blazing Sun, don't worry. Even though I'm not really a good person, I've never done anything bad. Zhang Yud was very confident in this aspect. After saying that, he immediately closed his eyes. 10 seconds later, he opened his eyes and looked at Zhou Zhou expectantly. Big Boss Blazing Sun, I've already given up my status as a lord. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he approved his application to join Blazing Sun City. Then, he opened the information on the other party's subject interface. Subject, Zhang Yud. Territory, Blazing Sun City. Profession class name, Adventurer. Profession class, Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. Ability Overview. Originally one of the lords of the myriad races. Later, he surrendered to the Lord of the Blazing Sun and gave up his status as a lord. He became an adventurer and a subject of the Lord of the Blazing Sun. Skills: Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Summon Thorn, Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Swift Movement, Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Fireball Spell, Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Ice Wall Spell. Loyalty: 78. Potential: White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Zhou Zhou looked at the other party's potential panel. He was certain of one thing. If he did not have the buff of a lord, there was no upper limit to a lord's potential. And if he lost his status as a lord, then his original upper limit of potential would be exposed, limiting his strength. The identity of a lord is probably the greatest treasure for us lords. Zhou Zhou could not help but think. Then, he came in front of Zhang Yud and extended his right hand. "Welcome to Blazing Sun City," he said. Seeing this, Zhang Yud quickly shook hands. At the same time, a virtual screen appeared in front of Zhou Zhou. Current stealable items: 1 Gradeless Adventurer Class Change Certificate, Stealing Success Rate, 100%, 1 Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Skill Book, Summon Thorn, Stealing Success Rate, 100%, 9 Black Iron Tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragments, Stealing Success Rate, 100%. Zhou Zhou ignored these low-level skills and gave the order to steal the Black Iron Tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragments. The next second, 9 Black Iron Tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragments appeared out of thin air in his spatial ring. A smile appeared on Zhou Zhou's lips before disappearing. "Can I really live?" Zhang Yud said in disbelief, seeing that Zhou Zhou really had no intention of killing him. Zhou Zhou ignored him. Zhang Yud was even happier when he saw this. This meant that the other party really had no intention of killing him. As for his status as a lord, previously, he could not bear to part with his identity as a lord because he wanted to use this identity to make a name for himself in the High Continent. This was also the reason why he joined the Sun Extermination Association. However, losing his status as a lord was naturally nothing compared to losing his life. Not only that, he suddenly realized that he felt much more relaxed without his status as a lord. He seemed to have returned to his attitude when he was AF*RT on the Cerulean planet. Perhaps he was really not cut out to be a lord. This thought suddenly appeared in his mind. A relieved smile appeared on Zhang Yud's face. At this moment, he suddenly remembered something. "Big Boss Blazing Sun, no, my lord. When are we going to destroy those lords of the Cerulean planet who want to harm you? Especially those B***starred lords from the Sun Extermination Association. I know the location of their territory. I can show you the way," he said excitedly. Zhou Zhou looked at Zhang Yud speechlessly. This guy would be a fence-sitter who would fall wherever the wind blew in the eyes of other lords. If he could treat his former ally like this today, he would do the same to his lord one day in the future. However, Zhou Zhou had the lord talent of peace and prosperity. The other party's loyalty would increase to 90 points sooner or later. Therefore, he was quite tolerant of such people. Tomorrow is the Myriad Race's Lord Battlefield event. I don't have time to deal with them. Since they're planning to come after me during the event, then let's wait for them to come over themselves. I don't have to look for them one by one. Zhou Zhou shook his head. Yes, the Lord is right. This way, we can still wait for them to tire themselves out. Zhang Yud reacted and hurriedly nodded. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, under his request, Zhang Yud took out the bottle of extraordinary tier potential advancement potion and the talent brought by the reputation rating that he had obtained after becoming an official lord. He was a white platinum tier elementary grade carpenter. After the other party announced in person that he had joined Blazing Sun City, he also became a subject of Blazing Sun City. Zhou Zhou was deep in thought. As the novice lord test ended, every official lord had obtained great benefits. The bottle of extraordinary tier potential advancement potion and talent attracted by reputation rating was enough to tempt other factions. In the past 2 days, many lords of Cerulean Planet on the World Channel had indeed said that many people of foreign races had come to attack their territory. The lords of Cerulean Planet had both wins and losses in this aspect. After the novice lord test, the situation of the lords of the myriad races seems to be better, but in fact, there are more dangers hidden in the dark because of the existence of the official lord's reward, especially those weaker lords. In the eyes of other powerful lords, it's simply a treasure that they can plunder at will. Zhou Zhou frowned slightly. It seemed that other than the threat of the myriad races' lord battlefield's activities, the threat from the other lords was probably not weaker than this event. He thought for a moment, and his expression quickly returned to normal. Fortunately, he was not weak, otherwise, he would probably be like those weak lords who could not sleep at night because of worry. Then, he entered Thorn City and took the Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Territory token from the Lord's wooden house. Half an hour later, with the help of Bai Yi, Zhang Yud and the others, all the resources in Thorn City were sorted out. Zhou Zhou took a look and retracted his gaze. This was because he only had 50,000 to 60,000 units of basic resources, more than 100 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores, and 5 to 6 normal building blueprints. He was naturally not interested in this bit of resources. According to Zhang Yud, he knew that the myriad race's Lord Battlefield would be held tomorrow. Therefore, he did not dare to hold back at all. Other than leaving more than 100 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores as backup, he used the remaining Mist Cores to buy these military professional slaves to increase the combat power of his territory. Zhou Zhou did not say anything. He did not let the new subjects from this city follow them. They still had to continue conquering the other Scarlet Lords, and the lords of the people of foreign races after all. Therefore, he left behind 1,000 military professionals and asked them to bring these 400 new subjects and loot back to Sandgold City. He could also supplement the number of residents in Sandgold City and increase its popularity. He led the remaining 9,000 soldiers and rushed towards the Scarlet Lord's territory according to the shortest route. In the next 6 hours, Zhou Zhou led by Yi, Wu Xian, Nazario, and 9,000 military professionals to attack 5 Scarlet Lord territories in Thorn Dune. These 5 Scarlet Lord territories were all ordinary Scarlet Lords that only had Black Iron Tier territories. Under the Scarlet Lord's command, there were at least 300 monster subjects and 1,000 monster subjects at most. They could not resist at all facing Zhou Zhou's 9,000 military professionals. They did not even need Bai Yi, Wu Xian, and Nazario to take them down easily. Their loot were all skill books and equipment. For such fog monsters were not worthy of being protected by the Monster Ranch. Zhou Zhou was not interested in them. He directly dealt with them all and extracted the loots. He obtained a total of 5 Black Iron Tier territory tokens, 28 Green Bronze Tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragments, 12,562 Green Bronze Tier Mist Cores, 6,354 White Silver Tier Mist Cores, 1,550 Equipment, Green Bronze Tier, White Silver Tier, 2,250 Skill Books, Green Bronze Tier, White Silver Tier. After storing these loots in the Mechanostrider convoy, they immediately rushed to the territory of the regional lord, the Sand Corpse Lord, behind a sand dune. Zhou Zhou looked at the territory of the Sand Corpse Lord in the distance. More than 3,000 sand corpses were wandering around the territory. They were from all kinds of races. There were humans, people of foreign races, and the monster races among the 5 Scarlet Lords that Zhou Zhou had just attacked. There was no lack of powerful races among them. Most of them were from Black Iron Tier to Green Bronze Tier. There would be a few White Silver Tier Sand Corpse subjects occasionally. They no longer looked like they were alive. Their entire bodies were wrapped in yellow sand, looking a little strange. Even though there aren't many of them, they are not weak. We can't underestimate them. Zhou Zhou looked rather serious. Then, he looked at the interface information of the weakest Sand Corpse and was stunned. Monster name, Sand Corpse. Strength level, Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade. Monster description, summoned by the Sand Corpse Summoner with the corpse, flesh, and mist core as the core. It gathers gravel and has the consciousness and memory of when it was alive. Even though its combat strength is weaker than when it was alive, its life-saving ability will be stronger. Loot's drop rate, 2 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores, drop rate, 100%. Prompt. The loots will only drop the corresponding level of mist cores as it is a flesh-type summon creature. There will be no other level of loots. Zhou Zhou was a little surprised. So flesh-type summon creatures only dropped mist cores? He thought about it and felt that it made sense. If the summon creature could also drop the same loot as normal monsters, the summoner professionals in the High Continent would probably become the most popular profession in the entire continent. Who could reject an extraordinary tier class that could produce and sell itself? Then, he looked around the monster subjects. A moment later, he finally found a Sandcorpse summoner among the Sandcorpses. Monster name: Sandcorpse Summoner, Morton. Strength level: Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade. Monster description: the Sandcorpse Summoner under the Sandcorpse Lord can summon a large number of summon creatures with living consciousness with the corpse's flesh and mist cores as the core. Loots drop rate: 2 Green Bronze Tier Mist Core, drop rate 100%. 1 Gradeless Skill Book, Fresh Flesh, drop rate 30%. 1 Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Equipment Sandcorpse Staff, drop rate 5%. 1 Gradeless Sandcorpse Summoner Class Change Certificate, drop rate 0.1%. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. This seems to be a worthy new member on his monster protection list. By E. Old Wu.
Attack.
Remember to leave some alive for Monster Ranch. He looked at Bai Yi and Wu Xian beside him and said in a deep voice, "Yes, my lord, X2." The two of them said respectfully and led the way.
Attack.
Following Bai Yi's order. Kill. Charge. Army formation. Furry array. Army formation. Fire array. Wu Xian rode on his dragon horse and led more than 5,000 sword shield soldiers, Pudeo soldiers, golems, and other close combat soldier types towards the 4,000 Sandcorpses. Bai Yi and the other 4,000 poison crossbow soldiers, elemental archers, and other long-range soldier types supported from the back. The 4,000 Sandcorpses quickly discovered them. All the Sandcorpses roared and rushed towards Wu Xian and the others as the Sandcorpse summoner among them gave the order to counterattack. Zhou Zhou stretched out his right hand and aimed his palm at them at the back of the battlefield just as they were about to engage in a chaotic battle. Green Bronze Tier Lord Talent. Insight Defection. Activate. Boom. An invisible wave instantly enveloped all the Sandcorpses and Sandcorpse summoners. Some of the Sandcorpse summoners froze. The expressions in their eyes changed for a few seconds. Then, they decisively called back the Sandcorpse they had just sent out and attacked their Sandcorpse summoners' companions beside them. Every time they killed a Sandcorpse summoner, some Sandcorpses collapsed weakly on the desert on the battlefield. Then, the gravel disintegrated, revealing the flesh and blood inside, as well as the mist core. The Sandcorpse Lord's side was in chaos coupled with the confusions caused by the Sandcorpse summoners' internal strife. This is a good opportunity. Wu Xian's eyes lit up. He immediately led the army and used the hero skill, Golden Dragon Break, to smash the Sandcorpse army in front of him into pieces. Then, he slaughtered the Sandcorpse summoners at the back of the battlefield. When these Sandcorpse summoners who had not been incited by insight defection saw this, they never expected that the other party would break through the Sandcorpses' lines so easily and come to them. They could only recall the Sandcorpses to protect themselves while resisting the attacks of their former companions. On the battlefield, the chaotic Sandcorpses could not stop the Blazing Sun army at all. The scales of victory almost immediately tipped towards the Blazing Sun army. Zhou Zhou nodded slightly when he saw this scene. Whether it was the numerical advantage, the hero advantage, or the Lord Talent advantage, his side was far superior to the other party. To Bai Yi, Wu Xian, and the others, it was extremely easy to control the direction of the crowd control battle. Then, he looked at the notification that had just appeared. Prompt. You have activated your Lord's exclusive talent, Insight Defection. Insight Defection has taken effect. Lord Talent notification. A total of 102 Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Sandcorpses, 56 Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Sandcorpses, 21 Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Sandcorpses, 6 Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Sandcorpses, 1 Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade Sandcorpse, 14 green bronze tier intermediate elementary grade sand corpse summoners, and 7 green bronze tier intermediate sand corpse summoners have betrayed their lord's faction and become your subordinates. Zhou Zhou was quite satisfied after reading it. More than 4,000 sand corpse and sand corpse summoners had directly insight defection 206. It was not in vain that he spent 10 green bronze tier lord talent crystal fragments to upgrade it. A moment later, as the sand corpse lord, Naz, who was hidden among the sand corpses, was killed by Nazario's precise magma dragon breath, the remaining sand corpse summoners clearly lost their backbone. When they controlled the sand corpses to fight, they also became a little weak. After a while, the battlefield returned to calm. Greetings, my lord. 7 green bronze tier elementary grade sand corpse summoners and 3 green bronze tier intermediate grade sand corpse summoners brought more than 200 sand corpses to Zhou Zhou and greeted him respectfully. Come back to Blazing Sun City with me later. Zhou Zhou looked at them and said,
Yes.
10 sand corpse summoners said respectfully. Then, he retreated to the side. Zhou Zhou looked at them thoughtfully. As more and more monsters appeared, would it be necessary for him to form a separate army? But what should he call this army when the time comes? Insight defection army? Or an army of traitors? Just as he was thinking, the sand corpse lord, Na's corpse was also sent over. Zhou Zhou glanced at its corpse. Then, his eyes lit up. Monster name, Sand Corpse Lord, Na's, Regional Level Scarlet Lord. Strength Level, White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Monster Description, the strongest Scarlet Lord in Thorn Dune. It controls the entire territory of Thorn Dune and has a group of Sand Corpse summoners under its command. They are good at summoning and have obtained the professional inheritance of the Sand Corpse King, a general under the Emperor of Sand. Loot drop rate, 20 white silver tier mist cores, drop rate, 100%, 5 origin crystals, drop rate, 100%, 1 gradeless skill book flesh preservation, drop rate, 30%, 1 white silver tier advanced grade equipment Sand Corpse King summoning scepter, drop rate, 10%, 10 gradeless Sand Corpse summoner class change certificate, drop rate, 0.1%, 6 black iron tier lord talent crystal fragment, drop rate, 0%, 1 black iron tier lord scarlet lord talent sphere, drop rate, 0%. He has the lord talent. Zhou Zhou was pleasantly surprised. As for what the monster introduction said, the other party had obtained a portion of the Sand Corpse King's inheritance under the Emperor of Sand, so he didn't care too much. Zhou Zhou started to loot immediately. Lord Talent Notification. Your loots have been enhanced by the King of Loots, Perfect Loots. Grade +1. Lord Talent Notification. You have obtained Perfect Loots, 20 Mist Cores, Yellow Gold Tier, 5 Origin Crystals, 1 Skill Book, Flesh Preservation, Gradeless, 1 Sand Corpse King Summoning Scepter, Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade, 10 Sand Corpse Summoner Class Change Certificates, Gradeless, 6 Lord Talent Crystal Fragments, Green Bronze Tier, 1 Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere, Green Bronze Tier. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction. These perfect loots felt good when used. A black iron tier Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere turned into a green bronze tier Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere. Then, he looked at the loots. It was needless to say anything about mist cores and aurora crystals. He looked at the skill book first. Skill name, Flesh Preservation. Skill quality, Gradeless. Skill description, it can keep the flesh of a life form fresh for a long time. It can also prevent the corpse from turning into fog and dissipating for 7 days. It doesn't seem to be of much use. Zhou Zhou touched his chin. At most, it would replace the use of the golden corpse water and make it easier to extract the spoils of war from the corpses. It could allow the soldiers to learn this skill. This way, Ashburn and the others could focus on other potions. He didn't think too much about it. Zhou Zhou looked at the next loot after learning it. Equipment name, Sand Corpse King's Summoning Scepter. Equipment grade, Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade. Equipment effect 1. When the user uses a summoning skill, it can reduce part of the energy consumption. Note, when using skills below Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade, you can reduce energy consumption by up to 50%. The decrease will decrease as the strength of the skill increases. Equipment Effect 2. Fever of the Sandcorpse King. When the user uses the professional skill of the Sandcorpse Summoners, the strength of the summoned Sandcorpse will increase by 1. Good God. The Sandcorpse Summoner's Divine Artifact. Unfortunately, it's a yellow gold tier advanced grade equipment. Moreover, I'm not a Sandcorpse Summoner, so I can't use it. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue in wonder. Every life form could only have one profession in the professional system of the High Continent. He was already a martial artist. Therefore, he could not learn the professional skills of other professionals while he could learn other non-professional skills at will. On the other hand, lifestyle professionals could take on multiple life professions. There were no restrictions in this aspect. At this moment, a new notification appeared in front of him. Special hint. This equipment contains a portion of the fragments of the Emperor of Sand's Glory Scepter. Finding other fragments can reforge the Emperor of Sand's Glory Scepter, Legendary Tier Advanced Grade. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. Was there actually a fragment of the Emperor of Sand's Glory Scepter in this scepter? He flipped his right hand. A 3-meter-long golden scepter appeared in his hand. It was not that long ago that he obtained the Sandman Scepter from the loots of the Sandman Lord. This scepter also contains some fragments of the Emperor of Sand's Glory Scepter. The two scepters seemed to sense something and suddenly vibrated when he took out the Sandman Scepter. Zhou Zhou looked at this scene in surprise. Then, he saw that the two scepters suddenly moved on their own. Then, the tops slowly moved and finally pointed to the south. This direction. It seems to be in the direction of the Sandstorm Forbidden Land and the Green Forest. Could it be telling me that the remaining fragments of the Emperor of Sand's Glory Scepter are in the Sandstorm Forbidden Land or Green Forest? Zhou Zhou was deep in thought. It would be fine if it was the Green Forest. That place could at least be reached if he were to take a detour. However, if it was the Sandstorm Forbidden Land, then it would be bad. That dangerous forbidden zone of natural disasters. Zhou Zhou was not confident that he could return safely even if he brought Nazario along. However, to be honest, he was quite tempted. The Emperor of Sand's Glory Scepter was a legendary tier advanced grade weapon. Moreover, it might even be related to the inheritance of the Emperor of Sand. If he could obtain the inheritance of the Emperor of Sand, this opportunity would not be inferior to obtaining a legendary tier Lord talent, or even a mythical tier Lord talent. He thought for a moment. Then, he looked at the next loots. Item name, Sandcorpse Summoner Class Change Certificate. Item level, Gradeless. Item effect, Intermediate Battle Class Class Change Tool. After using it, you can become an intermediate grade battle class, Sandcorpse Summoner. You will also have a set of Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Battle Class equipment, 5 years of Sandcorpse Summoner Class experience, and the initial strength of a Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade. Item description, Intermediate Grade Combat Class Certificate, created by the fallen Emperor of Sand. It is an important part of the army under the Emperor of Sand. Zhou Zhou nodded slowly. Intermediate Grade Battle Class. This was the first time he had obtained a class change certificate of this level. Not bad. It was worth protecting. As for the final Green Bronze Tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragment and the Green Bronze Tier Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere, needless to say, he would use it when he got back. He wanted to see what kind of Green Bronze Tier Lord talent it was. At this moment, Bai Yi walked over. "My lord, I've found the territory token tablet," she said respectfully. "Take me there," Zhou Zhou said. "Yes, my lord, please follow me." Bai Yi nodded. Then, the two of them walked in the direction of the territory stone tablet. Sandcorpse Lord's territory. In the Lord's courtyard, Zhou Zhou covered his nose and endured the stench of corpses in the room. He asked Bai Yi to shatter the stone tablet in front of him. After Bai Yi heard the order, she only used 5 fire vine arrows to shatter the territory stone tablet, revealing the 2 tokens inside. One of them was a green bronze tier advanced grade territory token. The other token was the regional token of Thorn Dune. Zhou Zhou put away the territory token and looked at the regional token. A text notification appeared. Treasure name, regional token, region name, Thorn Dune, changeable, regional grade, Black Iron Tier, area, about 356 square kilometers. Treasure description. A regional token of Thorn Dune. A lord who possesses a regional token and integrates it to become a region lord of Thorn Dune and obtain an exclusive regional treasure chest. When I return, integrate it into my territory stone tablet. I have 3 regional territories under my command. Zhou Zhou was very satisfied. Then, he left with Bai Yi. He had just walked out. Zhou Zhou noticed that the sky had already darkened. He looked at the time on the World Channel. He realized that there were still more than 3 hours before the Scarlet Fog completely relocated. Let the soldiers quickly organize the loots here, and let's quickly occupy the last territory of the people of foreign races lord. Then we'll go back to Sandgold City. Zhou Zhou said. Looking at it now, it would probably take quite some time to return to Blazing Sun City. He could only return to Sandgold City to rest. However, he had to return to Blazing Sun City early tomorrow morning to prepare for the Myriad Races Lord battlefield. Yes, my lord, Bai Yi said respectfully. Then, she immediately went to make arrangements. Soon, with the 10 Conqueror's blast furnaces going all out to retrieve the loots, all the loots of the Sand Corpse summoners had been extracted in less than half an hour. Under the effect of the perfect loots, he obtained a total of 14,852 green bronze tier mist cores, 12,620 white silver tier mist cores, 714 yellow gold tier mist cores, 357 gradeless flesh preservation skill books, 357 Sandcorp staff, green bronze tier, white silver tier, yellow gold tier, 357 gradeless Sandcorp's summoner class change certificate. Other than that, Bai Yi also found a total of 420,000 units of 4 basic resources, 1,241 black iron tier mist cores, 251 white silver tier mist cores, and 12 normal blueprints in the territory. Zhou Zhou was quite satisfied with these gains. Regional lords were indeed regional lords. Each one of them was equivalent to 5 normal Scarlet Lords. Then, he did not stop. He brought the soldiers to the last territory of the people of foreign races in Thorn Dune. Wu Xian had specially activated the furry array to increase his speed. Everyone's speed increased greatly, and they arrived at their destination in less than 15 minutes. This was the territory of the Ox Demon clan. It was called Zealer City. According to Wu Tu's map, there were about 1,000 members of the Ox Demon clan living here. The leader of the Ox Demons, Tu, had the strength of a yellow gold tier intermediate grade. They were not lords summoned from other worlds, but local lords of the High Continent. It was said that their ancestors had made a deal with the demons in the abyss. It allowed them to obtain some demonic power. This made their combat strength quite good even among the orcs. These more than 1,000 Ox Demon clan members. Its combat power was comparable to more than 4,000 human military professionals of the same level. This level of combat strength, if they chose to attack forcefully, they would definitely suffer heavy losses. Hence, Zhou Zhou had already thought about it on the way here. He did not intend to storm this place. Instead, he wanted to see if he could replicate Thorn City's actions and make the other party surrender. After he had 9,000 soldiers surround this place, Zhou Zhou stood at the front of all the soldiers and looked up at the city wall of Zealer City. His eyesight was extremely good. Therefore, he could see it clearly. On the city wall, an ox demon with soft golden fur, 2 horns on its head, and blood-red eyes was standing there looking at him. It was the boss of Zealer City, Tuesday. Who are you? What are you doing here? At this moment, the ox demon boss looked at Zhou Zhou and said loudly. The other party spoke the common language of the High Continent. Hence, Zhou Zhou could understand. Don't you see? I brought my army here to suppress you. Tu, come out and surrender. You saw it too. My men are out there. You can't escape. Zhou Zhou said. His voice was also transmitted to the ears of all the ox demons in the other party's territory through the enhancement of his spiritual power. Human Lord, I admit you have many soldiers. But our Zealer City is not weak either. And we're protected by our walls while you are facing the threat of the imminent Scarlet Fog. Are you sure you want to attack us? Besides, We have no grudges against each other. Why must you start a war against us? Atu said angrily. I just took down Thorn-Du not too long ago. Which means, you're the ones occupying my territory for survival. I came to attack and expel you for the sake of protecting my territory. That makes sense, doesn't it? Zhou Zhou said calmly. Atu was stunned. He has taken down Thorn-Du? Hesitation appeared on its face. In that case, they really seemed to be occupying the other party's territory for survival. After a long silence, it said, We've been living here for decades. This has become our homeland. Whatever you say, we'll never leave here. If you want to fight, let's fight. Atu was about to order the ox demons to prepare to defend against the other party's next attack. But at this moment, Zhou Zhou started talking. Atu, I know you have feelings for Zealer City and are unwilling to leave this place. But you can't beat us. Nazario flew down from the sky after he finished speaking. When the huge Nazario descended from the sky, Atu and the rest were stunned. Fear appeared in the eyes of some of the ox demons. Zhou Zhou could clearly feel the other party's fighting spirit instantly disintegrated when Nazario released his dragon might. Atu also saw fear in its subject. It wanted to say something encouraging, but it found itself at a loss for words. Therefore, a deep sense of helplessness rose in its heart in front of this incomparably pure-blooded dragon, even if it was the strongest amongst them. It did not even have the confidence to deal with this pure-blooded dragon. What about the other subjects? At this moment, the human lord's voice came from outside. Atu, I can give you a choice. As long as you are willing to give up your status as a lord and bring your ox demon subjects to join my blazing sun city, becoming my subjects, I can stop waging war on your territory. Let you continue to live here in peace. But I have to remind you, once you become my subjects, you will have to call yourselves my subjects in the future. You'll have no right to refuse when I need you to work for me or fight for me. Of course, I won't let you work for nothing or be a suicide squad on the battlefield. You and my other subjects will have the salary and military merits that you deserve. Are you willing to accept this condition? Zhou Zhou asked, a few seconds later. So you're the famous lord recently. No wonder. I, Atu, have heard a lot about you. Atu's voice sounded. There seemed to be a sense of relief in its voice. My lord, please wait a moment. Atu said. Okay. Zhou Zhou noticed the change in the way the other party addressed him and immediately nodded slightly. It seemed that Nazario and the nearly 9,000 military professionals were indeed very intimidating. In the future, he could use this to avoid many unnecessary wars. He could just get into position and scare the other party. In any case, they could win by using force. Why did they have to fight head-on? A moment later, the gates of Zealer City opened. Atu walked out with more than 1,000 tall ox demons and stopped 30 to 40 meters away from Zhou Zhou. Atu stared at Zhou Zhou and slowly knelt on one knee. I, the city lord of Zealer City, ox demon boss, Atu, am willing to give up my status as a lord and bring the 1,256 ox demon subjects of Zealer City to join you and become your subject. Atu said in a deep voice. Ox demon boss, Atu, leads 1,256 ox demons and requests to join your territory and become your subject. Do you agree? Agreed. Zhou Zhou thought to himself. The next second, prompt, 1,257 ox demons have become your subject. Lord Talent hint, peace and prosperity is taking effect. The loyalty of the subjects is increasing. Lord Talent notification. Loyalty of 1,257 ox demons has increased to 71 points. Zhou Zhou smiled. Why did he let the other party off with such a simple condition? Firstly, it was because the scarlet fog was about to descend. He did not intend to waste time here and wanted to conquer this place as quickly as possible. Secondly, it was because he had the diamond tier Lord Talent, peace and prosperity. As long as the other party dared to join his territory and become his subject, then, regardless of whether the other party had any ulterior motives before joining, They would not be able to harbor such thoughts as long as they became his subject. There was no way they could escape. From now on, we're family. Zhou Zhou walked over with a smile and extended his right hand to Tuesday. Tu was stunned for a moment before hurriedly reaching out to shake hands with its lord. Please take care of me in the future, my lord. Tu said respectfully. Sure, sure. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he looked at the items he could steal. Then he suddenly froze. Currently stealable items. 1 yellow gold tier intermediate grade skill book, great strength, stealing success rate, 95%. 1 yellow gold tier intermediate grade growable racial growth skill book, bloodthirsty battle, stealing success rate, 93%. 1 yellow gold tier intermediate grade growable racial growth skill book, ox demon transformation, stealing success rate, 94%. 1 white silver ancestor statue of the human race on Cerulean planet, stealing success rate, 91%. 2 black iron, tier lord talent crystal fragments, stealing success rate, 90%. There's actually such a thing? Zhou Zhou's gaze was focused on the words, ancestor statue of the human race on Cerulean planet. He suddenly reacted. Zhao Changshu should have built the imperial ancestral temple by now. That was why the ancestor statue of the humans on Cerulean planet appeared among the items that Tu could steal. He looked at the other party's list of loot. That was indeed the case. The other party's list of loots also included the loots of the ancestor statue of the human race on Cerulean planet. Without any hesitation, he silently chanted the word, steal. The next second, a 3-meter-tall Cerulean planet ancestor statue and 2 black iron tier lord talent crystal fragments appeared out of thin air in his spatial ring. Zhou Zhou looked at the information on the ancestor statue of the human race on Cerulean planet. Treasure name: Ancestor statue of the human race of Cerulean planet, Sun Simiao. Treasure grade: white silver tier. Treasure effect: place it in the shrine of the Imperial Ancestral Temple and activate the ancestor statue's beneficial effect on territory, subjects, or lords. Treasure introduction: an ancient Chinese pharmaceutical scientist and Taoist priest. He was revered as the king of medicine by later generations. He wrote essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies and supplement to the essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold. He also completed the world's first national medicine book, Tang Dynasty New Medical Herbs. Prompt: collect 2 ancestral statues of the same level and the same person, and you can fuse them into a higher level ancestral statue. The fused ancestral statue will produce a better buff effect on the territory, subjects, and lords. Is it actually this ancestor? Zhou Zhou was shocked. Naturally, he had heard of this king of medicine. This big shot was in the history textbooks he read when he was young. I wonder what the buff effect of this ancestor is? I'll give it a try at the Imperial Ancestral Temple when I get back, he thought. My lord, is there anything you need us to do? Tu asked nervously. After hearing what his lord had just said, he was already prepared to do his best. Zhou Zhou thought for a moment before looking at the other party. There's a miniature iron mine near my territory. You can get your subjects to mine the iron, or there, he said. Do you have food and accommodation? Tu asked shamelessly. Zhou Zhou was speechless. Don't worry. Not just food and accommodation. Those who are willing to go will even be given mist core as a salary. Zhou Zhou said. These ox demons were huge and strong. They were the best choice to mine iron ore. There was no need to fight with them. He did not lack soldiers now. The ox demon's boss was overjoyed. It was very strong physically, but its governance on its territory was not strong. In addition, the place they were staying in was a resource-poor place like Thorndune. Therefore, it and its ox demon subject were very poor. Usually, it was the one who brought the subjects to Fish Springtown to do odd jobs and some hard work to barely survive. Someone had once valued their strength and wanted to hire them as their fighters. However, its subjects rejected it without hesitation. The reason why they ran to such a desolate place to build a city and settle down was to stay away from the war, avoid it, and live a stable life without worrying about losing their lives. How could they agree to such an employment? As a result, They had a hard time even though they were very strong. Atu suddenly felt that it was not bad to be a subject under the Lord. At least there was a fixed work scope they could do. Oh yes, your subjects can work in many iron mines. But don't go there if you're so strong. From now on, you'll fight alongside me. Zhou Zhou said. He was not interested in the normal ox demons. However, he would not let go of such a yellow gold tier intermediate grade fighter. Yes, my lord. Atu's face stiffened, then it forced a smile and agreed. Zhou Zhou ignored its expression. After that, he gave Atu a map of the surrounding area and told him the location of Blazing Sun City. Then, he did not stay any longer and led the army back to Sandgold City, seeing that it was getting late. After Zhou Zhou brought his men back to Sandgold City, the sky was already completely dark. Scarlet fog gradually covered the entire world. After Zhou Zhou returned, he asked Bai Yi and the others to bring the army to Sandgold City to rest for the night. They would immediately rush back to Blazing Sun City before 4 o'clock the next morning. Bai Yi and the others immediately accepted the order. Zhou Zhou did not waste any time. He used return to the city and returned to Blazing Sun City. In the Blazing Sun City, in the living room of the Lord's residence, Zhou Zhou appeared out of thin air. He felt his body, spirit, and energy rapidly recovering and couldn't help but nod slightly. Originally, he was already a little tired after running around all day. Now, he felt like he had returned to his peak. Then, Zhou Zhou came to the territory stone tablet and took out the regional token of Thorn Dune, placing it directly above the stone tablet. A suction force came from the territory stone tablet and sucked this regional token into the stone tablet. The next second, rows of golden text appeared in front of him. Congratulations on obtaining a Black Iron Tier regional token, Thorn Dune. You have officially become the regional lord of this region. Thorn Dune, Black Iron Tier, has been added to your regional territory. You have obtained a regional treasure chest, exclusive to Thorn Dune. Zhou Zhou opened his regional territory column. Regional territory, Blazing Sun Desert, Black Iron Tier, Sandgold Land, Black Iron Tier, Thorn Dune, Black Iron Tier. He nodded, satisfied. Then, Zhou Zhou opened the regional treasure chest. Inside was a familiar yellow package. Item name, Thorn Dune Exclusive Resource Pack. Item level, Black Iron Tier. Item effect, after opening it, you can obtain 50,000 units of stone, 50,000 units of wood, 50,000 units of metal, 50,000 units of fine sand, 100 gradeless, Sand Corpse Summoner Class Change Certificate. Item description, Black Iron Tier Area Exclusive Resource Pack. After opening it, you can obtain a large number of basic resources and some area-exclusive resources. That's it. Zhou Zhou was a little disappointed. Wasn't this the same thing as the regional treasure chest in the Blazing Sun Desert? The sand crystal had just become the Sand Corpse Summoner Class Change Certificate. He shook his head. It seemed that something as good as the Golem Lair was just a special situation. After using it, he took out the Green Bronze Tier Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere. Let's see what this Green Bronze Tier Lord Talent is. Zhou Zhou was really looking forward to it. He looked over. A text notification appeared. Do you want to purify it?
Yes.
Zhou Zhou said. The next second, a golden light flashed on the Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere. Then its message changed. Treasure name, Lord Talent Sphere, Blessing of the Tin Gods, Blessing of the War God. Treasure grade, Green Bronze Tier. Treasure effect, after absorbing it, the Lord will have the Green Bronze Tier Lord Talent, Blessing of the Tin Gods, Blessing of the War God. Treasure description, a Lord Talent Sphere purified by the Supreme Resistance. After absorbing it, you can obtain a Green Bronze Tier Lord Talent, Blessing of the Tin Gods? I think I've heard of this talent from other lords. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. However, the blessing of the Tin Gods he had heard of was not the blessing of the War God, but the blessing of wisdom, creation, and life. Furthermore, different lords had different levels of blessings. He was at the Green Bronze Tier. The highest level he had heard of was the blessing of the Diamond Tier Creation God. It was said that it could greatly increase the breakthrough speed of lifestyle professionals, and had a certain chance of developing new life profession items. The other party seemed to have joined the military-industrial alliance and was a big shot there. Zhou Zhou was deep in thought. Since it was the blessing of the 10 gods, there were probably 6 of such gods left. However, he did not know who those 6 were. Then, Zhou Zhou stopped thinking and chose to absorb it. The next second, this green bronze tier Lord Talent sphere immediately turned into countless bronze-colored light spots and surged into his glabella. Zhou Zhou closed his eyes. A moment later, he reopened his eyes again after some time. Then, he immediately opened his Lord's personal information. His Lord Talent column had been updated again. Lord Talent, 100% drop rate, mythical tier, unique. Gnome Alchemy Workshop, green bronze tier. Monster Ranch, white silver tier. Insight Defection, green bronze tier. Peace and Prosperity, diamond tier. Return to the City, black iron tier. Mysterious Caravan, yellow gold tier. Master Thief's Robbery Gloves, legendary tier. Blessing of the 10 gods, blessing of the war god, green bronze tier. My 9th Lord Talent. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction. Then, he immediately opened the details of the talent. Lord Talent, blessing of the 10 gods, blessing of the war god, green bronze tier. Blessing of the 10 gods, blessing of the war god. The war god, one of the 10 chief gods under the supreme will, has blessed you and your military professionals. You and your military professionals will receive an additional 200% promotion energy after killing the enemy. Zhou Zhou's eyes widened. This was a green bronze tier Lord Talent? Obtaining an additional 200% promotion energy, didn't that mean that the benefits of the promotion energy in a battle would directly triple? This could be said to have directly increased the strength of him and his soldier types by 300%. To the lords of the high continents, any external means were naturally not as important as strength. In Zhou Zhou's eyes, the blessings of the war god were much more practical than the blessings of other gods. Good Lord Talent. In the future, I won't need to upgrade the Lord Talent crystal fragment to Insight Defection. I'll just upgrade it. Zhou Zhou immediately made a decision. Compared to Insight Defection, he still preferred the blessings of the war god that could increase his strength. He looked at the Lord Talent crystal fragment he had. After obtaining A2's Lord Talent crystal fragment not long ago, he now had a total of 74 black iron tier Lord Talent crystal fragments, 53 green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments, 3 yellow gold tier Lord Talent crystal fragments, 2 legendary tier Lord Talent crystal fragments. I still need 47 green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments or 5 white silver tier Lord Talent crystal fragments. Zhou Zhou was deep in thought. This request was not difficult to achieve. Now, he was attacking the Scarlet Lord's territory faster and faster. At his speed. In just a few days, he would probably be able to gather them after attacking a few more ownerless black iron tier regional territories. At this thought, he stopped thinking about it. Then, he walked out of the Lord's residence to find Zhao Changshu and ask him where the Imperial Ancestral Temple was. However, just as he walked out of the door, a woman's voice came from behind him. Are you the Lord of the Blazing Sun? Zhou Zhou was stunned. He turned to look. He saw a tall woman in a wholly white gorgeous dress. She had a pretty face and a resplendent white crystal at her glabella and was standing not far away and looking at him. Beside her was a maid in white. She bowed slightly to him and looked up at him curiously. And you are? Zhou Zhou was a little surprised. I am the princess of the Aurora Kingdom. My name is Liya. I'm here to pay my respects to the Lord of the Blazing Sun. I came with my father's greetings. She said politely. Welcome, welcome. I'm sorry. I've been busy the entire day today and have just returned. Zhou Zhou said. As a lord chosen by the supreme will, it's natural for you to be busy every day. Please don't feel embarrassed about this. Liya looked at Zhou Zhou in agreement. Zhou Zhou was stunned for a moment before he laughed. It's cold outside. Let's enter the residence first if you don't mind, he said. Liya nodded. Zhou Zhou brought the two of them back to his lord's residence again and sat down in the hall. After chatting for a while, Liya took out a contract. Father heard that the Lord of the Blazing Sun is very interested in our kingdom's Aurora crystal. That's why my father specifically asked me to bring this Aurora crystal transaction contract and give it to the Lord. With this contract, my lord can purchase Aurora crystals of yellow gold tier and lower from any yellow gold tier or above regional territories in the Aurora Kingdom. After she finished speaking, in order to avoid Zhou Zhou's misunderstanding, she explained apologetically, "It's not that my father is stingy and doesn't want to sell Aurora Kingdom crystals of yellow gold tier and above. Your lordship also knows that in our high continent, the probability of extracting items after a life form dies is extremely small. Normally speaking, only the mist cores can be extracted. Most of the other items won't be extracted. It's the same for the Aurora crystals. In addition, our Aurora Kingdom can only build a white platinum tier advanced grade Aurora Kingdom tower at most. Therefore, even for our Aurora Kingdom, white platinum tier Aurora crystals are already considered extremely top-notch and rare resources. We still have to use these to deal with the Taiyan Kingdom, so it's not convenient for us to sell white platinum tier Aurora crystals to the Lord." Zhou Zhou acknowledged. He remembered that the drop rate of Aurora crystals was 10%, which meant only 1 in every 10 Aurora race of white platinum tier would drop a white platinum tier Aurora Kingdom crystal after they pass on. The Aurora Kingdom had to rely on these white platinum tier Aurora crystals to build the Aurora Kingdom Tower to defend the entire Aurora Kingdom. The consumption of Aurora crystals was unimaginable. Therefore, he did not feel that there was anything wrong with them cherishing the white platinum tier Aurora crystals so much. "Your Highness, you don't have to do this. The drop rate of Aurora crystals is indeed low. If the Aurora Kingdom needs Aurora crystals in the future, you can look for me. Perhaps I can help," Zhou Zhou said. However, was the white platinum tier Aurora Kingdom's drop rate low in front of his King of Loots? He could directly extract diamond tier Aurora Kingdom crystals for the other party, let alone white platinum tier Aurora Kingdom crystals. When Leah heard Zhou Zhou's words, she looked at him blankly. "You can help? But aren't you the one who needs the authority to trade Aurora crystals?" Zhou Zhou faced the doubt in her eyes with a mysterious smile. Actually, under normal circumstances, he would not say that he would take the initiative to help. However, this princess came with good intentions. Her attitude and etiquette made Zhou Zhou feel very comfortable. "Give me a peach, and I give you a white jade for friendship." Zhou Zhou would naturally repay her kindness. Even though Leah did not know what Zhou Zhou meant by help, she could hear the good intentions in his words. This made her smile. "In addition to the transaction of the Aurora crystals, my father also promised my lord that he could make a request. He'll grant it as long as it's within his power." Leah said, "This is His Majesty's kindness. I need time to think." Zhou Zhou thought for a while and did not expect to make any requests. "Okay. I'll stay in my lord's territory for 3 days. You can tell me when you have thought it through," Leah said. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, the two of them chatted happily for a while before Leah left with the maid on the pretext that it was inconvenient to disturb them in the middle of the night. Zhou Zhou sent her out of the residence and went to look for Zhao Changshu himself. When Zhou Zhou found Zhao Changshu, he was chatting with a young man. "Greetings, my lord." When the two of them saw Zhou Zhou, Zhao Changshu immediately stood up and bowed. When the young man beside him saw this, he reacted and hurriedly stood up to bow to Zhou Zhou. Then, he looked at Zhou Zhou excitedly. "And this is?" Zhou Zhou nodded and looked at the young man. "His name is Liu Yu. He's my disciple. He just joined our Blazing Sun City today. At that time, the Lord was not around. I talked with Elder Zheng and recruited him. This disciple of mine is quite capable and quite talented. He might become a pillar of our territory in the future." Zhao Changshu smiled. "So you're Elder Zhao's disciple. Welcome to Blazing Sun City." Zhou Zhou smiled. "Hello, my lord. I've long heard about you and your territory. I've finally seen you today," Liu Yu said excitedly. He had been chatting with his teacher just now. Zhao Changshu told him that not only did he break through the original upper limit of his potential, but he had also become a diamond-tier elementary grade architect. An architect of this level could be said to be unique in the entire Aurora Kingdom. As his disciple, he naturally knew what his teacher wanted. He also knew how difficult it was to do this. His teacher had been pursuing this for decades after all. He did not expect the Lord in front of him to do it in just a few days. And according to his teacher, their Lord had done far more than this. Zhao Changshu stopped talking. However, this did not stop Lu Yu from revering this Zhou Zhou whom he had never met before. In addition, Zhou Zhou was not bad-looking and had all kinds of fame. That was why he was so excited when he saw Zhou Zhou. My own little fanboy? Zhou Zhou was surprised to see his expression. When he saw the other party's attributes, a smile immediately appeared on his face. This young man, Lu Yu, was already a white platinum-tier elementary-grade architect. Moreover, his potential was the same as Zhao Changshu's. He had the potential of a white platinum-tier advanced grade. Moreover, the other party was just a young man. It could only be said that Elder Zhao had good taste. And he also reacted. The other party should be a legendary talent attracted by the reputation rating after his territory leveled up. The three of them chatted for a while before Zhou Zhou brought up the main topic of his visit. Elder Zhao, the Imperial Ancestral Temple should be completed, right? Bring me to the Imperial Ancestral Temple. Zhou Zhou said, I was just about to talk to my lord about this. My lord, please follow me. Zhao Changshu stood up and led the way. Zhou Zhou followed him. Lu Yu did not receive any hints from the two of them, so he did not follow them rashly. A moment later, the two of them arrived at the Imperial Ancestral Temple. Zhou Zhou looked at the building. A building notification soon appeared. It was basically the same as the architectural effect described in the architectural blueprint of the Imperial Ancestral Temple. The building level had changed from Special E to Special White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. Moreover, there were two new columns, Current Ancestor Statue Worship and Current Ancestor Enhancement Effect. However, the words None were displayed on it. Zhao Changshu was already introducing them. This Imperial Ancestral Temple covers an area of about 1,390 square kilometers. It's 47 meters long from north to south and 29 meters long from east to west. It has 3 layers of walls. According to the blueprint requirements, they are all yellow glazed tiles with red walls. The building inside the wall is north to south. The innermost building is the main hall of the Imperial Ancestral Temple. There are shrines inside that can pray to our ancestors. However, because there is no ancestor statue, there are no ancestors in the shrine for the time being. In addition, the construction level of the Imperial Ancestral Temple is the same as the territory. As the level of the territory increases, the level of the Imperial Ancestral Temple will also increase. The number of ancestral statues that can be worshipped inside will also increase. Currently, our territory is at the White Silver Tier Elementary Grade, so we can only worship 3 shrines. When Blazing Sun City advances to a Yellow Gold Tier territory, the number of shrines that can be worshipped in the main hall will increase again. Zhao Changshu explained in detail. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, the two of them walked into the Imperial Ancestral Temple and passed through 3 layers of walls before arriving at the main hall of the Imperial Ancestral Temple. As soon as he entered the main hall, Zhou Zhou saw 3 red shrines that were 5 to 6 meters tall neatly placed on the altar. Below the shrine, there were also incense burners, red ropes, copper coins, agarwood, and other sacrificial items. A faint smell of agarwood permeated the entire Imperial Ancestral Temple, making one's heart calm down. Zhou Zhou waved his right hand. The statue of Sun Simiao's ancestor appeared before him. Then, he did not call for help. He personally picked up the ancestor statue and placed it respectfully and carefully in the first shrine on the left, just as he placed Sun Simiao's ancestral statue on it. Zhou Zhou immediately felt the entire Imperial Ancestral Temple tremble slightly. However, the tremor was extremely small. Only he, who had the chaos human bloodline, could sense it. Zhao Changwen did not sense it at all. At the same time, an ancient and serious voice sounded in his mind. A doctor should not rely on his own strengths to focus on managing his wealth. Rather, he should have a heart of salvation. Is this the voice of Sun Simiao's ancestor? Zhou Zhou was stunned. At this moment, a new text notification appeared. You have placed a white silver-tier ancestor statue of the human race on Cerulean planet in the shrine of the Imperial Ancestral Temple. Sun Simiao has activated the exclusive ancestral buff effect. Essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies. The current ancestor statue has been updated. Current ancestral enhancement effect has been updated. The next second, a withered and pale ancient book appeared in front of him. Zhou Zhou took it. A text notification appeared. Treasure name. Essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies. Treasure grade. White silver tier. Treasure effect 1. After healing the injured, there is a chance that all doctor-related professionals in the territory will comprehend more medical theories, increasing the probability of breaking through by 5%. Treasure effect 2. When physician-related professionals with the essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies encounter difficult illnesses, there is a chance that they will receive hints from the human ancestor of Cerulean planet, Sun Simiao. Treasure description. Human lives are the most important. They are more precious than gold. They are more virtuous than this. Prompt. This treasure is exclusive to the Imperial Ancestral Temple. It cannot be worn down, lost, or destroyed. This ancestor's enhancement effect is so powerful. Zhou Zhou exclaimed in surprise when he saw the effect of the treasure. The first effect could increase the chances of doctor-related professionals in the territory breaking through. Not to mention the second. Sun Simiao's ancestor had personally guided him. This was only the white silver tier, essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies effect. What about the higher level essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies effect? I wonder if there's any way to obtain a statue of the same ancestor? Zhou Zhou could not help but think. Then, he had no clue and stopped thinking about it. Then, he looked at the essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies in his hand and thought for a moment. Then, he sent someone to call Bai Yuejing over. What can I do for you, my lord? After Bai Yuejing arrived, she immediately said respectfully. Zhou Zhou said nothing. Instead, he first took a look at his loyalty. He realized that his loyalty had increased from 85 points to 89 points. He had improved to such an extent in just a day. This meant that the other party approved of him and Blazing Sun City. Zhou Zhou was relieved. He handed the essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies to the other party and told him the effect of this treasure. It's too valuable. How can I use it? Bai Yuejing said in shock. This treasure could affect the future of the entire territory's doctor. His lordship actually gave him such a precious item. Elder Bai, take it. You are the only extraordinary tier doctor in the territory. Everyone else's medical skills are far below yours. If you're not qualified to use it, who else in our territory is qualified to use it? In the future, Elder Bai will have many important patients to treat. When the time comes, I'll need Elder Bai and the essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies. Elder Bai, don't decline, Zhou Zhou said. When Bai Yuejing heard this, she stopped hesitating and solemnly promised Zhou Zhou that she would keep it safe and display its value. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. The two of them chatted for a while before Bai Yuejing bowed solemnly in front of Sun Simiao's statue and left. After everyone left, Zhou Zhou came to Sun Simiao's statue. He picked up 3 sticks of incense and lit them up. Then, he bowed 3 times to Sun Simiao's statue and solemnly placed them on the incense burner. I hope that Lord Ancestor can protect our blazing Sun City and continue smoothly in this Lord of all races competition. He prayed. Then, he turned around and left the Imperial Ancestral Temple. In the Lord's residence, Zhou Zhou, who had just returned, heard Wu Tu's voice outside the door. Zhou Zhou let him in. My lord, this is the map I drew today. In addition, I've also investigated the general situation of the surrounding area. Wu Tu handed over a map respectfully. Zhou Zhou took it and read it. This map was almost the same as yesterday's. However, there were some new areas. For example, the unknown area in the north was now discovered to be a white silver tier area, Mingguang Town, And to the north of Mingguang Town was a yellow gold tier area, Blazing Sun City. They were all official territories under the jurisdiction of the Aurora Kingdom. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows when he saw this. Then he could make a trip to Blazing Sun City. This way, he could buy some yellow gold tier Aurora crystals with the Aurora crystal trading contract he had just obtained. This way, he could upgrade all the bronze Aurora Kingdom towers in his territory to yellow gold tier Aurora Kingdom towers. When the time comes, even if a diamond tier expert dared to invade his Blazing Sun City, he could even guarantee that the other party would never return. Then, he looked elsewhere. The north of Blazing Sun City and the west of Fish Spring Town were both regional territories under the Aurora Kingdom. In the east of Thorn Dune, there were 2 green bronze tier regional territories and 1 white silver tier regional territories. On both sides of the Sandstorm Forbidden Land and the south of the Green Forest, there was a black iron tier territory, 2 green bronze tier territory, and a white silver tier territory. Further away was the location of a yellow gold tier regional territory in the Tane Kingdom, Dark Knight Town. Starting here all the way south was already the territory of the Crimson Kingdom, Tane Kingdom. The Aurora Kingdom can be regarded as a friendly party at the moment. Moreover, they're not weak. We definitely can attack them. For the Tane Kingdom to be able to fight against the Aurora Kingdom for hundreds of years, their strength is definitely not inferior to the Aurora Kingdom. It's not within my consideration. Then we can only attack the 7 regional territories east of Thorn Dune and south of the Sandstorm Forbidden Land. Zhou Zhou pondered. However, this Sandstorm Forbidden Land is a little troublesome. If the problem of the Sandstorm Forbidden Land's army's passage cannot be resolved, then I can only expand my territory east of Thorn Dune. Zhou Zhou frowned slightly. To a lord like him, it was not a good thing to have one's offensive direction restricted. He thought for a while. He suddenly thought of Lu Ruyi and the rest. As adventurers, they might be able to learn more about the Sandstorm Forbidden Land from other local adventurers. There might be another way to pass. Without hesitation, Zhou Zhou sent someone to call Zhang Lanqing over. Previously, after Lu Ruyi and the others followed their army back to Blazing Sun City, they only stayed for a day before returning to prepare to establish an adventurer team. But Zhang Lanqing was left behind. It was convenient for Zhou Zhou and Lu Ruyi to contact each other. Now it looked like it was going to come in handy. Soon, Zhang Lanqing came over. "Greetings, my lord," Zhang Lanqing said respectfully. At this moment, his attitude had changed greatly from when he first arrived. Zhou Zhou could clearly tell that the other party's respect for him had completely turned into sincerity. Zhang Lanqing knew the reason very well. After staying in the territory for a few days, he understood more about Blazing Sun City and the Lord of the Blazing Sun. In particular, the other party's territory was clearly only a desert territory, but it could develop to such a scale and achievement. It even became the strongest human lord on the Cerulean planet. Apart from being shocked, Zhang Lanqing only felt admiration from the bottom of his heart. Honestly, if it were him, he would have been assigned to a desert territory at the beginning. He would probably give up his status as a lord on the same day and change his occupation to become an adventurer. Who would have thought that a territory with barren resources, surrounded by monsters and sand, could develop to this extent? Zhou Zhou naturally did not know what he was thinking. She told him directly why she had come to look for him. "Sandstorm Forbidden Land. I've heard of this place. Because that place is a forbidden area for natural disasters, there seem to be many strange legends. But most of them are made up by other adventurers, rangers, and martial artists. I wonder if it's true." Zhang Lanqing pondered. "This is very important to me. Get Lu Ruyi and the others to temporarily put aside all their work and focus on investigating the Sandstorm Forbidden Land." Zhou Zhou ordered without hesitation. "Yes, my lord," Zhang Lanqing said solemnly. This was the first time the feudal lord had assigned them quests. He had to do it well. He reminded himself. "How have you guys been lately?" Zhou Zhou asked. With the 5,000 Black Iron Tier Mist Corps sponsored by the Overlord, Captain Liu has already established the adventurer team. The name of the adventurer team is Starfire Mercenary Team. The name is a metaphor that we are the official adventurer team of Blazing Sun City. However, only a few of us founders know about this. We haven't announced it to the public, because there are some things that official adventurer teams will encounter obstacles if they want to do it. Private adventurer teams will easily come into contact with such things. Other than that, we've also recruited a portion of Black Iron Tier and Bronze Rank members. The Starfire Mercenary team now has 50 members. Zhang Lanqing said respectfully. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. They were especially satisfied with the name of the Starfire Mercenary team. He thought for a moment. He took out 500 green bronze tier mist cores, 100 soldier type class change certificates, and 50 Sand Corps summoner class change certificates from his spatial ring and handed them to the other party. Your adventurer team has just been established. You should have spent most of the 5,000 Black Iron Tier mist cores. Take these and use them as resources to continue developing your adventurer team. If you can do the job I gave you today, I'll give you more rewards. Zhou Zhou said. After all, it was the first official adventurer team in Blazing Sun City. If he didn't reward the other party, Zhou Zhou himself felt that it wasn't good enough. If not for the fact that they were too weak and could not accept more rewards, Zhou Zhou even wanted to sponsor them with the yellow gold tier mist core. Thank you, my lord, Zhang Lanqing said in surprise. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, the two of them chatted for a while, more before Zhang Lanqing left with these things. When Zhou Zhou saw this, he called the yellow gold tier intermediate level warrior, Luo Feng, over. Senior Luo, there's something I'd like you to do, Zhou Zhou said. Then, he told him about the Starfire Mercenary team. The Starfire Mercenary team has just been established. There are some things and rules that they might not understand. That's why I want to ask Senior to secretly escort them for a period of time. If they accidentally fall into a desperate situation, when the time comes, please help me if you can. Of course, if the environment isn't too dangerous, then let them see blood. There's no harm in training, Zhou Zhou said politely. That's easy. When I was young, I joined many adventure teams. After I became a wanted criminal, I've also seen the dark side of this world close to the mark, not far off. Leave this matter to me. Don't worry, my lord, Luo Feng said confidently and even a little arrogantly. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. After that, Zhou Zhou did not talk much. Seeing this, Luo Feng bade farewell and left. Zhou Zhou thought about it. What else did he not do? Soon, he thought of something that he had almost forgotten. Try me. He opened his friend list and wrote the title of Military Industry Lord in the friend request column. Originally, he thought that it would be very difficult to add the other party. After all, the other party was now a top-notch lord second only to Dragon Lady Lord and the others. In particular, the other party's military and industrial alliance had been very popular on the World Channel recently. It was normal for the other party not to be added as a friend. Unexpectedly, he received a notification that he had successfully added a friend as soon as he clicked confirm. He froze. Then, the other party immediately sent a message. Military Industry Lord. Are you really the Lord of the Blazing Sun? Zhou Zhou.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.